NFL veteran safety, ESPN analyst Louis Riddick says that he does not want Shedeur Sanders to go in the top 3 picks. Take a listen.
Shedeur is someone who wants to be collaborative. He is someone that you want to talk with. He doesn't like to be told just this is the way we're going to do things, and then you're just going to need to fall in line.
Swaggo in here.
And he kind of has. He's earned that right because of the way he has played. This young man is going to be just fine. And you know what? I hope he doesn't go in the top 3 picks. I hope he doesn't. And I think his camp would tell you the same thing. There are other teams that they want to go to.
You could be in a better situation, obviously, if you fall. And we know how much that.
Sean, Shedeur is set to meet with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin, your guy, and he's set to meet with Pete Carroll and the Raiders next week. Now, do you share the same sentiment as Louis Riddick? Do you think Shedeur should fall out of the top 3, or would you not want him to go in the top 3? Go ahead.
Man, I want the kid to just let it play out. It's gonna play out how it's gonna play out. It don't matter what I want, what Riddick want. Like, the one thing I would disagree on Riddick, and hell of a choice of words, collaborative. I like that. Being so collaborative is why I don't think Shedeur Sanders is the unquestioned #1 pick in this draft. He's been in this incubator that has an umbrella provided by his father that allows him to have so much input that, guess what? The data doesn't always get to the actual raw results.
Okay, yeah.
Shedeur needs to be coached hard. Like, Shedeur, this is bullshit what I'm watching. Like, what are we doing? And I don't want to hear a response. I want the film to talk.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we gave him how many sacks? How many of those sacks are on you? And let's go through this and let's sit down. And did we have an option to deliver the football in a timely fashion? But when your quarterback is collaborative, which is Shedeur's existed, he basically got the same amount of power as the OC. Right? Don't forget, in that one game, a lot of people don't talk about this, and it gets brushed under the rug because Prime is his dad. They had a big game last year that they lost, I think, where he audibled a 4th down run to a deep ball that he overthrew.
Are you talking about Kansas State?
I think it might have been the Kansas State game. Everybody's like, they were arguing with the play call, but I heard it was audible by Shedeur. So, I mean, like, being collaborative and being held accountable don't always go hand in hand. And this jump he's about to make, for him to become the best NFL quarterback he can become, he needs to go somewhere where somebody can continue to develop him. And he needs to forget everything he thinks he knows and just absorb all that experience, information, if he's fortunate enough to get in that situation. This is why I said I think he could end up on the Steelers, but I don't like him going to Pittsburgh. As good an organization as Pittsburgh is, the one position they absolutely suck at developing is quarterback.
Yeah, that's true.
And then going somewhere with a player in the position of Mason Rudolph, a guy that had a chance to start briefly in Pittsburgh, probably feels like he didn't get a fair shake, goes to Tennessee, gets put in an impossible situation behind Will Levis, actually doesn't play terrible at the end of the year. Now he's sitting in the quarterback room with no competition. In his mind, he's finally getting his shot.
Yeah, that's true.
So to bring Shedeur into there, which I'm not saying whether Shedeur is better or not as good as Mason Rudolph, I don't think is in the best interest of Shedeur. Shedeur needs to go somewhere with a veteran quarterback that's not interested in being a starter. He's just glad to make a paycheck to tutor a young player. And with a quarterback coach that knows how to develop the position and an OC that's brilliant on the offensive side of the ball. And Shedeur needs to forget anything that he thinks he knows about playing quarterback and absorb and be a sponge and gain all of that legitimate information.
Yeah, and Sean, going back to the Riddick's point of being collaborative, so to speak, you don't think Shedeur needs that? He needs coaching.
Hell no. Collaborative. How man, look, don't make me cuss. How somebody that never won a championship gonna come to the NFL level and be collaborative?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I don't.
And this is not a knock on Shedeur.
Especially Shedeur.
Yeah, this is every quarterback in this class, Cam Ward included.
Right.
Ain't none of y'all ever won shit. Like, as good as I think Cam Ward could be. Hey, Cam, listen, boy, we got some work to do. Because in an ACC that's as bad as it's been in 10 years.
Yeah.
With that talent you got in Miami, how many guys they had at the combine? 14?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You mean to tell me you couldn't get that team at least to the ACC title game?
Yeah. No excuses.
So, I mean, I don't think any quarterback in this group is a collaborative player. Not initially. I do like the word choice, though, Riddick.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, Sean, there has been all kinds of mock drafts that come out about Shedeur Sanders, and they're all over the place. What is a team that wouldn't be collaborative with Shedeur and actually play a part in his development? You mentioned he wouldn't want to go to Pittsburgh for that exact reason, their lack of developing quarterbacks. Is there a team? Look across all 32 teams here. Is there a team that you could see him going to that would actually play a part in developing him and not be so-called collaborative?
So here's what I think is going to happen. Shedeur's going to drop. We're going to be sitting at 13, 14, 15, 16, somewhere up in there.
You think Jerry Jones passed on him past 12? Ooh.
Well, just because of the money he just paid Dak Prescott.
That's fair, yeah.
You know, he just paid Dak a $55 million a year deal. You know, and I think the Giants or the Browns are going to try and trade back into the first round to take Shedeur. That's what I think is going to happen. Having said that, the best landing spot on this board for Shedeur Sanders is 26 to the Los Angeles Rams.
And headed to McVay, sit behind Stafford, get developed in the McVay.
Stafford talked about retiring. Stafford's an accomplished vet that Shedeur has no advantage over. He's never going to throw the ball as gifted as Stafford does. Yeah. He's never been as accomplished as Stafford is. Stafford's got a championship. Like, that's the room Shedeur needs to be in. And then he needs to learn from Stafford and McVay and then take over in a year or two when Stafford leaves. To me, that would be the best landing spot from a longevity career standpoint for Shedeur.
Wow.
And he still gets in a big market where he can do all his business deals, you know, but the football component of it, to me, that's what he needs to, in my opinion, have the best chance for longevity and elite success.
Damn, yeah. And Sean, you're the first person I've even heard mention Shedeur to the Rams. I think the Rams, if you look at it and you get over the fact that Shedeur would be drafted at pick 26 unless they traded up, I think LA checks the Rams specifically check all the boxes here. Big market, like you mentioned. You know, we know that Prime and Shedeur are looking for that. Specifically going into quarterback development, we know how Sean McVay is going to impact him from a quarterback development perspective. Him sitting behind Stafford, I think a lot of Stafford's strengths, so to speak, play to Shedeur's weaknesses, and Stafford could help mentor Shedeur, coach him out of some of these bad habits we saw last season at Colorado. Not saying Shedeur had a bad season at all, but we know damn well a lot of the sacks that Shedeur took, him running backwards, his habit of doing that, other habits as well, Stafford would be able to help coach out of them, so to speak. But, man, I think that checks all the boxes there in LA.
Yeah, so I'm sure the camera, if he falls to 26, it'll be like a nightmare scenario, which, let me say this. How in the hell is getting drafted in the first round of the NFL draft like failure?
I don't like. It's the prime sexual, Sean.
America, let's keep it a buck, man. Every little league football player in America right now wants to play in the NFL. And you ask every one of them, if I can guarantee right now you'd be drafted in the first round, one of the top 32 picks in the world in that particular year, what would you say? Every one of them would say, hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So listen, falling to 26 is not falling. Get the hell out of here. Falling is if you were supposed to be a first-round pick and you go in the fifth.
Right.
So let's stop this narrative like I got a late first-round grade on Shedeur. That's not hating.
No, it's not, Sean. I agree with you. And your clip on Ross Tucker blowing up on Twitter, I can only imagine your inbox from the prime sexuals there. But no, I don't think what you said was hating at all. I thought it was real talk there, and I thought the noise coming from it and all the hate and then people calling you a hater, I thought that was crazy. And they don't watch probably don't watch the same game that you and I watch.